All right, so I'm here with Officer Tracy. Hello, Officer Tracy.
Hello, how you doing?
And this episode, Catherine's producing.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, that was uncomfortable. All right, so Officer Tracy, got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
So last year we did the Alice drill thing where someone was running around with a blowhorn.
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing that again?
We are. We are hoping to do that after the new year.
Mm-hmm.
We're aiming to get at least one drill a year, practice drill.
All right. What does Alice stand for? It's an acronym, right?
Correct.
Okay.
There you go. So you didn't study last year, did you?
No.
ALICE stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. And it's the new school safety shooter kind of training that we're moving to. Instead of the traditional old, if there's a lockdown, you go in the corner and you sit and you hope that nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's just kind of giving students and staff more options as to whether you want to evacuate, whether you want to barricade, just do something more than just sit there and hope nothing bad happens.
Yeah, it seems it makes more sense, because I remember when they used to do the old lockdowns, if someone's on the third floor and you got a class on the first floor, what good is it to stay in your room? That just seems counterproductive.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Columbine, unfortunately, kind of put it on the map, and there were tons of students that were in the library, and the librarian there, because the old rules were you lock down, you just stay put. Tons of students there were like, can we leave? There's a back door, we can get out. They kept hearing the gunshots come a little closer, and unfortunately that's where the most casualties were in the library, when technically, looking back at it, the time frame from when the shooters got to the library, they probably could have got out.
Yeah.
So
sucks how that had to change,
Unfortunately, it's a scary subject for parents and for students to have to think about and deal with.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we're giving them some more options. As a mother, I have 2 small children in the elementary schools. I would tell them, make havoc, get the heck out,
Yeah.
So I wouldn't like them just sitting there. And the way that I sell it to the parents is I say, if a stranger came up to grab your child, what do you tell your child to do? Kick, scream, create a commotion, and try to get out of there. So the same thing. So if a bad guy was going to come into the school, get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
right?
you don't want to just sit there.
Right.
Yeah. All right. On a lighter note,
Yes.
so can you describe we know you're a police officer at the high school, but what is your role here? What you do on a daily basis?
What do I do during the day? A lot of people ask that. So my hours here at the school are 6:45 to 2:45. So that usually gives me about 45 minutes before and after when the students are here. Generally, I report here. I don't have to go to the station for roll call, so I come right to the school here. In the office, I'll review reports that happened over the night or over the weekend. Try to see if any of the students have been involved in those. If it's something that's criminal, then we can kind of relay that to the housemasters. If it's something that maybe they were a victim of a break-in, maybe they had a domestic violence at the house, whatever kind of counseling we can give to them, we're allowed to share that information with the adjustment counselors, and just to make it a smooth transition. So that's usually how the morning usually starts. We like to hit the hallways. We'll be visible in the hallways, walk around and stuff. It's always a good opportunity for us to interact with the kids.
Yeah.
I think you guys all have a good handle on who I am now because you see me popping in and around and stuff.
Yeah. So where'd Farrago go? Because I know he was sort of a familiar face that I sort of got to do, but then when I went in to ask you to do this, he wasn't there.
Right. So he is down at the Kennedy right now. The Kennedy SRO went out with a knee injury early in September, so he got moved down there to cover for that. And then what they did was they filled a 90-day assignment here at the high school. So technically, Officer Bibbo, who's the new cop that's around, he's in here filling out and just kind of giving extra help for me anyway. So
okay.
Yeah, 1,600 kids is a lot for me, sometimes.
So I know in your office you guys have the little monitor with all the security cameras.
Yeah.
So how did that get started?
It's not so little, They're big.
Yeah. How'd that whole thing get started?
A couple of years ago, the safety committee kind of revisited school safety issues. Obviously, we want to try to protect the kids from outside intruders, school shooters possibly. And then we also had a rash of bathroom fires, if you recall. So besides for just blocking and locking the doors, we figured if there could be some cameras to kind of monitor a little more, it would deter some crimes out of there. So we were able to put 47 cameras currently throughout the school.
Yeah.
Strategically placed so that they view an outside door. So if somebody does come in from the outside, we would pick them up on the camera. We do have the luxury of having them in some other hallways, and like the CAF, we have one. There's one that points outside because that goes over to the Vogue too. But ideally, they are focusing at an exterior door. In the event that somebody would come in the school, we would be able to identify them. And it's been effective.
Yeah. So you'd say it was a successful
ordeal? Yeah, I like it. They opted to put the 2 monitors in my office. All the housemasters are allowed to, or have access to be able to see the videos, and we can review them. So they save for like 30 days.
Yeah.
And we can review what happened. A lot of times we miss things, or we're not where there might be a fight or something, but you can kind of go back and see how it started. You can see who also was involved, or you know, so it's been effective.
So have you this year like gone back and like reviewed stuff like that already?
Yeah, it's good. And you know what? I mean, someone might have said, "Oh, I lost my wallet" or something like that, and then you can kind of track down where they might have been a little bit. You know, oh, well, you were in the bathroom, and they were able to recover things, phones, stuff like that. On a larger scale, you know, there was a student that anonymously reported seeing a male student kind of abusing a female student, and we were able to kind of like go back at the time frame and look at that hallway. That's something that would have never came to light. We were able to kind of counsel that female student. She proceeded to say that there was like some major domestic violence going on and stuff, and you know, the kid did some jail time, and you know, it helped a lot. I thought like it painted a bigger picture than if you're not, you know.
Yeah.
And the students are aware that the cameras are there.
Yeah.
And we're not looking to get people in trouble. It's more of a
tool to use. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I bet occasionally, you know, catch a dance every once in a while, or someone picking a nose or what. But
so like if you see kids like leaving the building on your monitor, do you like go and like get them, or like do you sort of just like?
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more of like a school issue with the housemasters, you know, if it's a chronic thing, because unfortunately, if they're leaving the school, then they're maybe getting into cars and then they're driving to Dunkin' Donuts or something.
Yeah.
They're out of the building where they're supposed to be in the building. Now there's a risk of an accident and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'll identify that and stuff. I don't really have the power to suspend someone in that aspect, but I know the housemasters are really trying to crack down on that and come up with some sort of solutions and stuff. So,
yeah.
You know, and people take off. Like, they run from the doors and you're like, we have you on camera. We're going to be able to find out who you are, you know?
Yeah.
So, but it's good.
So what is, I've always been curious about this because I'd say, in my opinion, I think the school's calmer now than like it was like maybe when I first got here. So like what is like the craziest thing that you've had to deal with at your time here?
So there's the occasional fights, obviously. You know, unfortunately somebody had to be arrested out of the cafeteria a couple of years back from a fight. And that always is like, ooh, because you have 500 kids in the cafeteria at once. Yeah. And if you see the officer come in and putting handcuffs on someone and walking them out, it always kind of incites things, you know. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, it's weird, and I don't know what the craziest thing would be. I don't know. What do you remember, like, going through?
My freshman year, I'm not gonna say the names, but like there was a fire, shockingly.
Yeah.
And we were down by like the Kennedy area back there, and I don't know how it started. There was just one kid who like started talking to like these 3 other kids, and then like more people got involved, and everyone just started yelling at each other, and like they were so close to fighting, just like.
I remember that because that was stemming over from like another issue. I think I remember.
I know Mr. Mullahu broke it up, who is I think down at McDevitt now.
He might be. Yeah, he's not no longer here. Yeah, you know, I mean, you have emotions like that are flying, you know, and so I think a a lot of times, what someone's having a bad day or what, and it just kind of like comes to head. It's so weird because you just carry on with some things, and you forget. There were threats that were coming to teachers before, that you can kind of like look into.
Yeah.
Everybody always loves a good cop story, but I can't even think of like anything like too bad. I know one time there was a really good fight, like the second day of school, and it took a lot. This kid was really strong, and it took a lot. And like I was kind of like had him up against a math room, and I'm like, stop resisting. I'm like, I'm gonna spray you, and Mr. Jelinas, I shouldn't even say names, but Mr. Jelinas is like, no, don't spray him. Like he was scared about getting the spray,
Yeah.
But I mean, the kid was tough to control,
Yeah.
We took a female out during finals because she was like difficult and didn't want to comply with putting her phone away,
Yeah.
And then unfortunately kids get wrapped up in things and then they're arrested for warrants that are taken out of school too. But hoping that like we don't have to enforce huge like police presence and more of just, hey, look at we're here to help you. You got in an accident, okay, this is the process, or you are court involved, let's try to do this and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to make it a goal to lock up people out of here, but
you're for the students, not against them.
Yeah.
So, how would you compare this senior class, like behavior-wise, to past ones? Because I know, like, I'm not gonna say names, but I know like some of the previous grades have been not so great.
You know what? It is. It's kind of like all over the place or whatever. The connections that you make with the kids in the class. I know Mr. Jelinas' senior class, which would have been 2 years ago that graduated, that was my first class that I had, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Yeah.
So I felt like close to them, and they were really fun, and me being new too and stuff, and I've had them. These ones are fun now because now I've known you guys since you've been here.
Yeah.
And we're a little more custom and everything else. The senior class last year was a little, that felt weird to me.
They were... different.
There was a disconnect. I felt like there were little groups and stuff. There were, and there's definitely awesome kids from each grade that pop out and stuff like that. But there's so much that this school offers, and so when everyone comes together like as a school and like kind of that camaraderie and really fun, super fan feeling.
Yeah.
Then it's awesome and stuff, and those are kind of like the classes that you remember. So yeah, I mean your seniors are great,
Yeah, I don't think we've had any big issues.
No.
Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
Yeah, nothing too major. Maybe a party at Sharky's house or something like that. But whoa.
Yeah, I heard that was on the watch list for Halloween.
It always is.
Hey, the cops didn't come though.
I kept it on the down low. I do my job keeping everyone safe.
Yes, I heard that. You kicked people out that you didn't even know who they were. Yeah. So
well, don't come. You don't know me.
No. It's good. It's good. There's a lot to offer, and I really enjoy making my presence known around here, interacting with the kids and everything, and hopefully there's that mutual respect,
Yeah.
So I am a police officer. I expect respect, just like any staff like would be here. But you know what? You guys deserve that too, and two-way street. So it's a good job.
All right. Thank you, Officer Tracy, for joining me.
Very welcome.
Thank you for protecting us and keeping the building safe.
Anytime.
All right. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Funky down. Nasty.
Hey, listen to the man.
Well, Godfather.